Okay, we're live.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this meeting of the University City Council to order on January the 11th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. Ms. Reese, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Clay,
Present.
Councilmember Klein,
Here.
Councilmember McMahon,
Here.
Councilmember Hales. I see
Here.
you. Councilmember Kusick,
Here.
Councilmember Smotherson,
Here.
Mayor Crowe.
Here. Thank you very much. Prior to moving forward with the agenda for the evening, I'd like to take just a brief minute to say a few remarks about this past week. On January the 6th, as everyone knows, our capital, the seat of our democracy in our country, was breached by an angry mob of rioters who had been egged on by the sitting president of the United States. A horrific act of violence and sedition. As President Obama said, history will rightly remember today's violence at the Capitol, incited by a sitting president who has continued to baselessly lie about the outcome of a lawful election as a moment of great dishonor and shame for our nation. That was followed by comments made by President George Bush saying, "The mayhem in our nation's capital is sickening and a heartbreaking sight. To those who are disappointed in the results of the election, our country is more important than the politics of the moment." I know there were a lot of heroes that day, in particular to the Capitol Police, who did their best to save as many as they could, in particular the one police officer who drew the adjutants away from the Senate chambers, and to the staffers who secured the Electoral College votes and made sure they were safe, among so many other heroes of that day. 90 arrests have been made as of earlier this afternoon. President Jimmy Carter stated that this is a national tragedy and is not who we are as a nation. As a citizen of a wonderfully diverse city, it sickens me to my core to think that we had anti-Semitic t-shirts in our Capitol, and for the first time since anyone can remember, a Confederate flag being brought into our Capitol. A truly tragic and sad day for our country, brought on by our own elected officials. To all of us, I know we take great pain in what has occurred. We must look into ourselves and to those who sit to our left and to our right, and to do the best that we can to move forward as a country and look forward to healing the wounds that have been created as of last week. Thank you. You have before you the agenda. There were no changes that were asked to be made in the study session. Is there a motion that the agenda be approved? Motion made by Mr. Kusick, seconded by Mr. Clay. Is there discussion?
Frozen. Okay.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the screen froze
Oh, I apologize.
for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Motion made by Mr. Kusick, seconded by Mr. Clay. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You have before you the minutes of the November 9th, 2020 study session regarding the housing plan and communications. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Mr. Smotherson and seconded by Mr. McMahon. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. We now have before you the November 23rd study session of code enforcement. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Ms. Klein. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Kusick. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You now have before you the November the 23rd regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve by Mr. Clay, and there is a second by Mr. Kusick. Those in favor, is there any discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. December the 14th, regular meeting minutes have been provided to you. Is there a motion that they be approved?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Smotherson, seconded by Mr. Kusick. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Once again, to the public, we thank you for the citizen participation. All members of council have been provided with the comments that were provided to the city clerk per our protocol that they were received by noon today. As always, we appreciate when you put your name and address so that we can appropriately identify citizens for their comments. We do have 2 public hearings this evening. I would like to open the public hearings for the rezoning of 8400 Delmar Boulevard, Del Crest Plaza. I will open the hearing at 6:37 p.m. To the best of my knowledge, am I correct, Ms. Reese? We have no comments regarding that hearing.
That is correct.
Having no comments, I will now close that hearing at 6:37 p.m. Our second public hearing is for the rezone of the proposed Costco site. I will open that hearing at 6:37 p.m. And I would like to have the record reflect that we did receive 1 comment regarding that particular agenda item. And we have provided that to all members of council, and that comment will be made a part of the record. With no other information provided to us, I will close the second public hearing on the proposed Costco at 6:37 p.m. You now have before you the consent agenda for items 1 through 7 provided to us by the city manager. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion made by Mr. Kusick and seconded by Ms. Klein. Is there any discussion on consent agenda items? Hearing none. All those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Rose.
Honorable Mayor and council members, on October the 26th, you approved an ordinance that established greater limitations on residents serving on committees that had some level of oversight of a particular department. Based upon approval of that ordinance, we conducted a review of all boards, commissions, and committees to determine if there were any serving members that would now be deemed ineligible due to the new requirements. Based upon that review, we did identify 1 member on the Parks Commission that we believe is ineligible. And so I would recommend that the council determine the ineligible of the member and invite him to apply for an appointment to a committee, board, or commission where a conflict does not exist. I would be happy to respond to any questions that you might have.
Prior to any questions, can we please, since we have a recommendation by the city manager, can we please have a motion to move forward with the city manager's report? Is there a motion? Motion made by Mr. Kusick. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Klein. Are there questions to be asked or discussion on this matter? Mr. Smotherson.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Crow. I'm just City Manager Rose. Just my question is, why did it have to be presented this way in the packet? The reason I ask that is because when we have even though this is a new process, with anybody that's applying for a commission, their application isn't part of that packet. I mean, those applications come to us, to the council, but if we proceed this way, I'm just not comfortable with the fact that that information was included in the packet, and I don't necessarily see the need that it should have been presented that way because the council could have been given that information separately in our packet. So, and then also it was, what I also found that a little interesting is that you presented it this way with the one case that you found, but the new ordinance affected 2 other commission members, not on parks, but other members that were affected by that. So again, if my understanding is wrong, please correct me, but I just didn't see that why that wasn't listed if we're going to present it this way.
Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Smotherson, we did a review of each of the boards, committees, and commissions to determine if the ordinance did impact the members that were serving on those, I'll call them BCCs. And based upon that review, we certainly engaged our city attorney. There was one that we thought might be impacted, but learned after review of the ordinance and the role of that individual that indeed the person was not disqualified from continuing to participate. So I would need more specifics as to what position or individual that you believe that the ordinance impacts that we certainly were not able to identify them. To answer your first question, it is a new process. I can certainly structure it in a way that works for the mayor and council. But the reason it was presented in the manner that it was is so that we would be able to clearly distinguish the member that we believe was ineligible and why that member was ineligible.
Okay, but I do understand that. I do understand that, but I'm not sure I was comfortable with the fact that the job description was listed in the packet and you know, in the way that it was presented, because I didn't see the need for that to be presented that way in our packet when it could have been just separately presented to the council, just like the applications are given to us separately and not included in the packets.
Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Smothers, and I'll confer with our city attorney because this is a public proceeding. I will certainly, on the next, if this ever occurs in the future, we'll work with our city attorney to determine are there limits that we can place on information that we present during this item or during these types of discussion. Again, we needed to ensure that both the council as well as the public had all of the information that led us or led me to this recommendation. But I'll certainly be happy to speak with Mr. Mulligan about the issue in the future.
Mr. Mulligan.
Thank you, Mayor. So under the Sunshine Law, a personnel matter may be closed. It may be done in a closed session. The records may be closed. However, this is not a personnel matter in that the Park Commission member is not an employee. The personnel exception under the Sunshine Law only applies to employees. So the ordinance then requires that the council make a determination as it may be advised by the city manager as to whether or not the person's ineligible. The only way the council can act is as a body, and then would have to vote as a body, and that vote would be an open record. It'd have to be in an open meeting, again, because this is not a personnel matter. So to support the council's determination, there should be evidence or information in the record. And so in this particular packet, you have the job description as well as the information regarding the Park Commission, what it does. Now, of course, that's an ordinance that's also included in the packet. So you can look at what the employee's duties are. You can look at what the Park Commission members' responsibilities are. and then you can make a determination and vote on it if you so choose.
Right, but again, as you said, we have to vote, and so we need that information to make that determination. That's true. Then why aren't we're voting, and when we nominate them to a commission, so then why aren't their applications made part of the packet? If you understand what I'm saying.
I think we easily could make them a part of the packet if the city manager so chose. We've just never had the applications be a part of the packet when we bring a nomination forward to have say, I'll yield to the city manager on this one, but I don't think we'd have any problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's all. And I'm just making that point because if this is a new process, if we're doing the one side of that and adding that to the packet, then as Mr. Mulligan said, we're voting on these people or nominating these people to a commission. And I'm not trying to be picky. I just wanted to ask the question that, then why isn't that included in the public record when they apply?
Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Smotherson, I certainly can include the applications. When I started with the city manager, there were some norms that were in place. This is one of those norms that the city did not include the application, but I'm happy to.
Mr. Hales.
I'm not sure if I'm hearing Mr. Smotherson correctly, but I think it warrants mentioning with this bill, should there not be something added to the application that residents fill out about this conflict matter? And I think that would probably be a wise thing to add. I don't know if that's where Mr. Smotherson is going.
No,
that would be a good
with that either. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying that if in fact what we're doing is if we're looking at the members on the commission and making sure that there's no conflict, if we're publicly putting that in the packet like we did in this packet, why aren't we, and we're voting to remove that member, then why aren't we doing that? Because we do the same process with nominating and voting to add them to the commission, then their application should be public. If that's exactly what Mr. Mulligan just stated.
Yeah, I actually believe their application is already public, probably. We just have not made it a part of the city council.
Right.
Probably.
I'm happy to do.
Yep. What other questions do we have regarding item number H1? Hearing no further questions on item number H1. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. We'll now move forward to unfinished business. Bill number 9416. Madam Clerk, would you please have the second reading?
An ordinance amending section 400.070 of the municipal code of the city of University City, Missouri, relating to the official zoning map by amending said map so as to change the classification of property at 8400 Delmar Boulevard from general commercial to planned development mixed use district and establishing permitted land uses and developments therein, containing a savings clause and providing a penalty.
Thank you very much. May we have the third reading?
An ordinance amending section 400.070 of the municipal code of the city of University City, Missouri, relating to the official zoning map by amending said map so as to change the classification of property at 8400 Delmar Boulevard from general commercial to planned development mixed use district and establishing permitted land uses and developments therein, containing a savings clause and providing a penalty.
Thank you very much. What's your pleasure? Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Mr. McMahon and seconded by Mr. Clay. Is there a discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Klein,
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon,
Aye.
Councilmember Hales,
Aye.
Councilmember Kusick,
Aye.
Councilmember Smotherson. I see you. Councilmember Clay,
Aye.
Mayor Crowe.
Aye. Thank you very much. Let's now move to bill number 9418. May we have the second reading?
An ordinance amending Schedule 3 of the Traffic Code to revise traffic regulations as provided herein.
May we have the third reading?
An ordinance amending Schedule 3 of the Traffic Code to revise traffic regulation as provided herein.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Kusick. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Klein. Is there discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember McMahon,
Aye.
Councilmember Hales,
Aye.
Councilmember Kusick,
Aye.
Councilmember Smotherson,
Aye.
Councilmember Clay,
Aye.
Councilmember Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Crowe.
Aye. Thank you very much. The bill has passed. We'll now move forward to new business. Resolution number 2021-1. Is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. McMahon and seconded by Mr. Hales. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now move forward to the introduction of bills. Who would like to introduce bill number 9419? Mr. Kusick. Madam Clerk, may we have the first reading?
An ordinance amending Chapter 500, Building and Construction Articles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8A of the Municipal Code of the City of University City, Missouri.
Thank you very much. We'll now move to bill number 9420. Who would like to introduce?
So moved.
Mr. Hales. Can we have the first reading?
An ordinance repealing Chapter 205, Fire Code of the Municipal Code of the City of University City, Missouri, and enacting in lieu thereof a new Chapter 205 to be known as Chapter 205 Fire Code.
Thank you very much. We now have bill number 9421. Who would like to introduce? Mr. Clay. May we have the first reading?
An ordinance amending Section 400.070 of the Municipal Code of the City of University City, Missouri, relating to the official zoning map by amending said map so as to change the classification of multiple properties in redevelopment project area 1 from public activity, industrial commercial, general commercial, high density commercial, and single family residential districts to planned development, mixed use district, and establishing permitted land uses and developments therein containing a savings clause and providing a penalty.
Thank you very much. Bill number 9422. Who would like to introduce? Ms. Klein, may we have the first reading?
An ordinance vacating and surrendering portions of public easement located within the city limits of University City, west of Delcrest Drive, east of a private road platted as St. Louis Belt and Terminal Railroad right-of-way and extending northeastward 123.22 feet from said private road, but reserving any other public easements and directing that this ordinance be recorded in the office of the Recorder of Deeds of St. Louis County, Missouri.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reese. We'll now move forward to council reports and business. Do any of my colleagues have any reports to make during this section of the agenda? Mr. Kusick.
Thank you, Mayor. I just would like to, the Commission on Stormwater Issues has been working diligently on setting up a reference library with possibly the use of University City Library. But at this point, they're asking for citizens to be thinking about sending in information they may have on any flood events that have happened in the last 50 to 70 years. If they have any photographs, we're going to be needing them. I believe that there may be something coming out in the roars, but in the next couple of months, we will be disseminating information on how that information could be sent to the Commission on Stormwater Issues. But I would just like to start asking residents to think about if they have videos or photographs or any type of information on any type of flood event that happened around their homes. Unfortunately, we're not looking for information within people's homes, but the information for the photos and videos of events that would have happened outside of their homes in their immediate neighborhoods. There will be more information available in the next coming weeks about this. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clay.
Actually, Mayor, I had a question for Councilmember Cusick about his request in that, so is it safe to assume that certainly the floods that have happened while I've been on council, which would be in the past 2 years, those already have documentation. So we're not looking for those. We're looking for those prior to.
No, sir. We're also looking for information from the last 2 years because we just lack a good, solid library and reference indicators for the flood. So yes, if people have videos or photos for the last 2 years, we would also like to have that information.
Okay. And I'm just wondering, would the city have that, particularly from those for the past couple of years? I know they're about our first responders are about the business of rescuing folks and property, not necessarily taking pictures, but I wonder, is there a documentary process that takes place with the city that might have captured some of this?
Some of that information is available, and we have been asking the police department, the fire department for that. And again, once we have a method of being able to house the information, we will make a more concerted effort to get the information from the fire department, police department, as well as we've already been speaking with Mr. Rose about any other information that any of the departments may have to that end.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any other comments to be made or questions during this section of the agenda? Hearing none, we will move to council comments. Are there comments that any of my colleagues would like to make this evening? Mr. Smotherson.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, Mayor Crow. Mayor Crow with an E. I'm sorry, Mayor Crow. Anyway. First of all, what I wanted to say is let me make a correction, Mr. Mulligan and City Clerk Ms. LaReed. If you would change my yay vote to a nay on H1, City Manager Report, if that's possible. And then also what I wanted to say to everybody, and I didn't get a chance to do this, and that is Happy New Year. That's the first thing. Happy New Year. And I'm really emphasizing new, because I'm hoping that not only what's happening in the world will change and what's happening with COVID will improve, but also to say that there are, the mayor mentioned this in the last meeting, and that there are a lot of things going on in this city, especially in the third ward, that have never happened in decades. And I'm really looking forward to this next couple of years, or really the next year. And I'm hoping this council is ready to get going, and let's really get into the things that we can change and the things that are headed our direction. So again, as I said before, Happy New Year.
Any other comments to be made by members of the body? Hearing none, I would request a motion be made to go into closed session according to Missouri Revised Statute 610.021, legal actions, causes of action or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communication between a public governmental body or its representatives or attorney. Is there such a motion? Motion made by Mr. Hales. Is there a second?
So moved.
Seconded by Mr. Cusick. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Reese, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Hales,
Aye.
Councilmember Kusick,
Aye.
Councilmember Smotherson,
Aye.
Councilmember Clay,
Aye.
Councilmember Klein,
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon,
Aye.
Mayor Crowe.
Aye. To the public viewing tonight, thank you very much for joining us this evening. To my colleagues, we will start the executive session. My clock says it is 7:01. We will start at 7:05. Thank you.